तुम ही सहारे, कोई ना अपना सिवा तुम्हारे। तुम्ही हो नैया, तुम्ही खिवैया, तुम्ही हो बंधु सखा, तुम्ही हो माता पिता, तुम्ही हो बंधु सखा, तुम्ही हो। जो खिल सके ना वो फूल हम हैं, तुम्हारे चरणों की धूल हम हैं। दया की दृष्टि सदा ही रखना, तुम्ही हो बंधु सखा, तुम्ही हो माता पिता, तुम्ही हो बंधु सखा, तुम्ही हो। थैंक यू।
That was awesome.
Nirali, thank you. HT sir, you will be saying something, or we can ask Virang to continue.
No, let Virang go ahead and introduce the
Virang.
faculty today.
હેલો, થેન્ક યુ. માં શબ્દનો કોઈ પર્યાય હોય ખરી? ના, બરાબર. ઘરમાં એન્ટર થતાની સાથે જ માં શબ્દ બોલતા થાક ઉતરી જાય છે આપણો. અને મધર માટે કોઈ એક દિવસ ના હોઈ શકે. આ તો રોજ સેલિબ્રેટ કરવા જેવું સેલિબ્રેશન છે. અને જ્યારે હું માં એટલે કે સેલિબ્રેટિંગ મધરહુડ વિશે લખતી હોઉં ત્યારે યુવાલય અને યુવાલય ફેકલ્ટીમાં એબી સર પહેલા યાદ આવે. મને ચોક્કસ યાદ છે કે એબી સર યુવાલય માટે પહેલા જ સેશનમાં મધર રિસ્પેક્ટ અને ફેમિલી વેલ્યુ જેવા મહત્વના વિષય પર અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડિંગ આપ્યું હતું. સો now I request AB to share his insights on celebrating our mother because he always celebrates the value of his mother. Thank you so much.
Wow, that is so nice. હું આટલું સરસ ક્યારે બોલતા શીખીશ? Very nice, very very good.
Thank you,
Right,
sir.
fantastic, right? So I can see your profile picture smiling and shining. Very very good, super, right? So let me first present my slide and see if it works fine this time. So please tell me whether you are able to see the screen.
Yes.
Okay, great, right? So I have the presentation in front of me and I do not have the chat box open by my laptop. So in case there is anyone who has a question or a thought, or maybe I'm not audible or the slide is not visible, request Chinmay or someone to help me and I can take those questions. In case there is some technological error, please let me know. And I also need to learn how do I have the chat box visible to me along with the presentation. So I've kind of, I would not say mastered, but I've kind of got a hang of Microsoft Teams. So on Microsoft Teams, I can do a few things seamlessly, but Google Meets is something I need to learn. So maybe after this, I'll catch up with Chinmay and or Smith, and one of them can help me, right? So welcome to this session. We have some August people. Dashna Ben is also on the call. So welcome Dashna Ben, right? And it is just a privilege to have so many of you on the call. And so we are taking a break from our normal series. And I thought that there is no better reason to take a break than to celebrate our mother. So it's not about celebrating the Mother's Day, but it is celebrating our mother, right? And I could not have found a better picture of understanding what a mother does than the one that is on your screen, right? And it is just tremendous to understand that yes, we have a person called Ma or mother, right? And no amount of words in whatever language, whether it is English, Hindi, Gujarati, Tamil, Telugu, whatever language, I don't think so. Language can ever describe what a mother does, right? So as I start, I would want to take this opportunity to to honor my mother, my mother-in-law, my partner for life, my wife. She is also the mother of a bundle of joy, a princess. Her name is Natasha. Right. So I want to honor all of them for the tremendous value that they add in my life. My mother-in-law, up from heaven, she blesses each one of us, and we know that her presence is with her, right? And we want to learn how do we honor our mother on a day-to-day basis, right? And I also want to thank all the women who have loved me, who have mentored me, and who have mothered me on this day, and not just on this day, but on especially on this day, right? And thinking about them and just wondering, if they were not there, what would I do, right? So if not for them, I don't think so I would be anywhere close to where I am, whether personally or professionally, right? So I would want to thank God for giving me the blessing of just an amazing family and an ecosystem that has always encouraged and taught me the values. And I've always said that I don't have any other accomplishments in life. I'm a very simple person, but the values that my parents have taught me, I have lived by those values, and nothing in this world has ever been able to, uh, distract me or tempt me, or I have fallen into any of those things, and that has been my greatest accomplishment. And when I talk to youngsters, when I talk to the next generation, the only expectation that I have is to live up to the values, to live a life that will make your parents, especially your mother, proud of you, right? And there is no better gift than what we can than that to give our mothers. So I'm going to play a couple of videos, and I know there may be a challenge as far as sound is concerned, but then I chose these videos that even if you don't listen to the sound, the visuals are impactful enough. So I'm going to play three videos in the time that we have today, and we will close in time, and we'll close by about 6 p.m. And I hope all of you have time till 6 p.m., maybe 5 minutes here and there. And so watch this video, and then I'll take it forward. Right. So wasn't that impactful? And even though I am not sure whether the sound was there for you or not, but the visuals, I'm sure, and the text on the slide were very impactful, right? So let us start by understanding what that video taught us, right? So uh, if you look at the word mother, and if you were to make that into a smaller version, mom, and if you look at a mirror vision of the word mom, it becomes wow, right? And I, for one, I feel blessed to have a mother, and I call her a wow. She's wow, and I'm sure, and I want everyone under the sound of my voice to be serious when I share these things with you, and go and hug your mother, go and hug people who have done so much in your life, and appreciate what they do, because time is flying by, and it's so very important that we express our love to them, our gratitude to them, our respect to them, our care for them. And yeah, so every time a child is born, so is a mother, and eternal bond is formed, right? And as we grow, our mother is there to tuck us in our beds, in our quilt, there to cheer us up, there to teach us, there to send off to school. And think of all those mornings that you never wanted to get up. Like I, for one, never was an early morning person, and I still don't like to get up early in the morning. And but the mother is there to wake you up, and as you get ready, the breakfast is ready, the clothes are ready, the school uniform is ready, the shoe is polished, the tiffin is ready, everything is ready. And just think of all those days, go back into your memory as long as you can, and I bet you cannot show me one day when you were ready to go to school, go to college, go to office, do whatever you have, and the breakfast was not ready, or the tiffin was not ready, right? So it is just amazing how this person sleeps the last, gets up the first, and does everything that I and you can never even think of doing it, right? And whenever we want to call her, she's always there to listen. And she has been there to encourage us as we explore and create, there to build our faith. And I think so. In my life, my mother has been a role model in terms of demonstrating what does it mean to live a life of faith. And she is by our side when others have left. Right? Remember, especially young boys and girls, all the relations that you have today, all of them are selfish relationships. There is something in you or that you have that is tempting them to have that relation with you. Maybe it is your beauty, it is your personality, it is your accomplishments. There is something that draws them to you, and it is a temporary thing. But if there is one relation which is as pure as God's love, it is your mother. No matter what happens to us, whether we succeed or we fail, whether we rise or we fall, whether we stumble or we soar high, she is always there by our side. And she is a pillar, she is a rock, and you can make your life out of that rock and pillar, right? And she's there in good times and hard times. And yeah, so I just love that statement that life does not come with a manual, it comes with a mother, right? And to everyone under the sound of my voice, I would encourage you to make this statement your WhatsApp status for at least a week, if not more. That life does not come with a manual; it comes with a mother, right? And it is just a privilege to know that we have a mother by our side. Let's watch one more video as we get along.
Anand, sorry to disturb.
So the voice is not there?
Yeah, so if you could just in the background just keep giving everybody a little bit of a context
Okay,
what he's
okay,
saying.
okay, okay. So I thought at least the sound would be a feeble. Anyway, so let me share. Thank you, Prakriti, for putting that up. This is maybe I'll share this link uh, on a group. I'll share it with Patel sir. So this is a fake interview that was done with real people. So the interview was fake, but the people on the interview call were real, right? And this interview was for the position of director of operations that I'm sure you would have read. And the job responsibilities cover that the person has to do most of his job, or most of her job rather, standing. And the job requires massive amount of stamina. The job requires her to constantly bend over, and the job requires her to be working at least 135 hours a week, practically 24 by 7. And she is not allowed to take any breaks. She is allowed to eat food only after the associates have finished eating theirs. And on days which are the events, the festivals like Christmas, New Year, Thanksgiving, the person has to work more, right? So there is no holiday whatsoever, right? And the person has to have a master's degree in psychology, in interpersonal relationships, in finance, in cooking, in culinary arts, and a few more, right? And the position for which the people were applying, so they said that after all of this, the compensation, the remuneration, the salary that the person gets for doing all this is zero. So the job does not pay anything. And the participants are like, is it even legal? What are you talking? Is this a joke or what? How can this be possible? It is just not possible. And the job interviewer then says that, what if I tell you there is someone who is already doing this job? And the participant says that there cannot be anyone who does this job. And the job interviewer says there is one person, and that one person is your mother. Think of all that our mother does. And she does not get any holidays. She cannot fall sick. She cannot take a leave. She can do nothing wrong, right? And think of the festivals, our Diwalis and our Holis and our Christmas and all of that. While we would enjoy, we would be in our AC rooms, nice and cozy in our beds, but the mother is up early and making sure that everything is in place. Now we are talking about a person in our life who does what is seemingly impossible, right? And look at your life, look at whatever number of years God has given you till date. Show me one day when a mother said, okay, I'm taking it off today, right? And it just does not happen, right? And I want to use this time to share something, and you would want, I would want you to go and tell this to your mother and make notes of this, right? And what I tell my mother, that yes, you have given me my breath, you have given me my strength, you have given me everything that I ever needed. You have showed me how to shine. You have showed me love all the time. And in my heart, I can feel it. You have always shown me how to face another tomorrow. You are always there by my side. You are my mother, and there is no one else like you. And you have always known what to do. Because of you, I know who I am, and because of you, I know I can do anything that I want to do. I don't have words to say, I don't have words to express, but I'm thankful each and every day that the Lord God blessed me with you. You are a blessed mother, and you are a blessing to me and my family. And my mom is a wow, right? And no velvet is as soft as a mother's lap. No rose is as lovely as a smile. No path so flowery as that imprinted with her footsteps. That is what a mother is, right? And as I said, let's learn how to honor our mother. And when I talk about honoring mother, it is just not Anand telling you to honor your mother. It is something which is written in the scriptures. How to honor our mothers. It is one of the top 10 commandments. It is, in fact, the fifth commandment. So in God's book, it is the top five. And I want you to take this seriously, because if there is something in God's top five, I better take that seriously. And the scriptures tell us that I need to honor my mother, I need to honor my father. And the question is, how do I honor and celebrate my mother? It's just not honoring our mother, but how do I celebrate her? Right. And when I travel, and I, not in these times, but in normal days, when I travel so much, and I see children not talking to their mother in an appropriate tone. The tone is not right, the behavior is not right, the body language is not right. There is arrogance that children show, and they're showing it to their mother. And I wonder that, yaar, kya kar rahe ho tum log? Right? So let us not just honor, but let us also celebrate our mother each and every day of our life. And the question is, how? And I'm going to give you 10 points. How do we honor and celebrate our mother? 10 points. And if you're making notes, here is your first point. Let us honor our mother by loving her unconditionally. Let's love her unconditionally. Remember, we need to love her when she's young, and also love her as she grows old. Let us love her when she has so much to give, and she gives us everything that she ever has. And let us continue to love her when she has nothing left to give. It hurts me beyond words to see today's so-called educated, uh, well-to-do people who send their parents to old age homes. And in Surat, there is an area called Vesu. And I've been there many times, and there is an old age home, and I've gone there many times. And it just hurts me. My heart bleeds to see the so-called educated people. And I don't know what education has done to them. If you cannot, respect your mother, cannot keep her with you, it is of no use. That money is of no use. So let's love her when she has nothing left to give, because remember, she has sacrificed the best years of her life for us. Yes, she had a career, but she sacrificed it for us. She could have done something for herself, but for her, the child always came first. She sacrificed everything that she has only for me and you. So let's love her. And remember, and that love has to be unconditional. And love in its purest form is unconditional, because God is love, right? And for everyone under the sound of my voice, make a note of this. Love, first and foremost, is a verb before it is a feeling. I'll speak it slowly. I want you to take this into your system. Let this sink into your system. Love is first and foremost an action, a verb, before it is an emotion or a feeling. So if you say to your mother that I love you, it just cannot be mere words. It has to be in action. Remember, love is first and foremost a verb. So do your actions talk what you are saying, or is your action not in line? There is no harmony between your words and your actions. And tomorrow people will go to Facebook and write all those flowery things about their mothers, but they would never express it to them in person. your mother is not interested in Facebook. Your mother is not interested in your Instagram account. She is interested in the life that you live. And we need to honor her by loving her unconditionally. Point number 2, let us hug her affectionately. And to everyone under the sound of my voice, I want to ask you, did you hug your mother today? Did you call her today in case she's not in the same town as you live? Did you spend time with her? And if you have hugged your mother, that emotion, that feeling is like no amount of words can express it. But you enter your house with a mobile phone in your hand, you don't even have the courtesy to greet her. You are getting into a home, not a guest house. You go and slam your room door, and that's not the right behavior, my friends, boys and girls. That is not the right behavior. Think of how much time that you spend with your friends on the phone. Be honest with yourself. Think of how much time that you spend with your friends on the phone. For hours and hours and hours and hours, you are chatting on your phone with your friends, talking to them. And how much time do you talk with your mother? Maybe a few minutes, right? So let us hug her affectionately. We have taken it for granted that, yes, my mother knows that I love her. But remember, she also needs to know that, yes, you still love her. And because you have grown up and you are independent and you can do whatever you want on your own, so don't neglect her. It hurts to know that there is no one who has time for us. It hurts to know that no one has time to even call us. Let's hug her and tell her how much we love her, and make this a daily routine. So we honor our mother by hugging her affectionately. Remember, love is first and foremost a verb before it is a feeling, right? And so love her unconditionally, hug her affectionately, understand her empathetically. Remember, friends, women go through so much of changes in their life. Let's understand them. Mothers undergo so much of changes in our life. Let's understand them. Let's have empathy towards them. Let's show empathy. Think of our mother. Think of your mother. And I want all of you who are listening to me to close your eyes as you're listening to me. Just think of all the things that your mother does. She wears so many hats. She cooks for the home. She cleans up the home. She's a judge. She's a peacemaker. She's a referee. She's a sounding board. She's an accountant. She's a finance manager. She's a storekeeper. She's also the gatekeeper. Remember, no one can enter into our home without her permission. And she is all in all. Keep your eyes closed. Just think of all that your mother does, my mother does. And I challenge you, if you can do 1/10 of what she does. And she does this without any expectations. Without any expectations. And as children, what can we do to celebrate our mother? What can we do to honor her? We can at least show her respect. We can at least talk to her properly. Now you are educated. You can say that I am on my own. One of the things that I just hate when youngsters tell their parents, it's my life and I will live it my way. Remember, it is not your life. It is not your life. Get that crap out of your mind. It is a life given to you by God through your mother. And how are we treating her? She may not speak English the way you speak, but that does not matter. She may not have the style that you now have, but that does not matter. She is a lady of substance. And Let us understand that words fail to describe what our mothers do, and let's understand her. Let's not react to her. If you're making a note, please make a note of this. Let us act, let us respond basis our principles and values that our mother has taught us, not basis emotions and circumstances. I'll repeat what I said. And sorry, this is such an emotional topic for me. I find it very difficult to speak. But anyways, so let us act, let us respond basis principles and values that she has taught us, not reacting basis emotions and circumstances. You have no right to speak back to your mother. You have no right to raise your voice. And everyone under the sound of my voice, take this seriously. You have no business of shouting at your mother and showing attitude to her. She does not deserve that. She deserves respect. So when she's talking to you, you have no business looking into your mobile phone. Let us honor our mother by showing respect to her all times, each and every day. And remember, like love, respect first and foremost is a verb in action before it can be felt as a feeling. So how do we respect our mother? It is just not by words. Let's appreciate the great work that she does. And I bet, tell your mother to take a break, tell your mother to take a day off and do what she does, and tell me if you can do it for one day. I challenge you, you will break by the time it is noon. At least appreciate what she does. Don't throw tantrums at her. Don't show your attitude towards her. And we must understand her. And as she grows old, let us have an accommodating heart. So whenever you have tried to teach your mother, your grandmother, your nanny, your dadi, right, you are trying to teach them some technology, and you teach them once, you teach them twice, you teach them thrice, you teach them 10 times. They are still not able to figure it out how to do it. What happens the 11th time? Why is your tone getting arrogant? Just because you know it well and she is struggling? Remember when you were born, from the day you were born till your first birthday, that means the first 365 days of your life, she has not slept for more than 300 days. Can we respect her for doing that for us? At least that's the least that we can do, right? And as you are growing up in your life, remember our parents are growing older, and we must show respect to them. Now you are making money, you are earning money, and you think you are independent. Don't be independent, be interdependent. Right? And if you're making a note, make this note that don't be independent, but be interdependent. And as I said, remember, respect is first and foremost a verb, then it is a feeling. Right? So let us honor our mother by listening to her attentively. Be attentive when she is speaking and sharing. Think of all the moments that we have gone through in life when we have encountered a storm in our life, there is a crisis in our life, there is a challenge in our life. Who do we go to in times of trouble? We go to our mother. And we would want to listen to her and her inputs when life gets tough. Let's listen to her. She has wisdom. Remember, you may have education, but education has got nothing to do with wisdom. She has wisdom. Let's listen to her and listen to understand, not just to reply. And when you look at the word listen, I'll make that into an acronym and help you understand that. And also realize that as you are growing up, our mother is in a season of life where she wants us to listen to her and listen to her attentively. So when she talks, look at her. When she's sharing, look at her. Keep that phone away from you. Keep that iPad away from you. Keep that television off. Be interested in what she's talking to you. Be interested in what she's sharing with you. Be interested in what she's speaking. Be silent when she's talking. Be silent when she's sharing. Silent both in terms of words coming out from your mouth and also mentally. Listen to understand, not to reply. Take all the time that it takes to understand what she's sharing with us. Take all the time needed. But you are always in a hurry. I've always wondered that today everyone is in a hurry, but no one seems to be coming on time. We know everything, but yet we don't know nothing. Today we have got broader highways and narrower mindsets. We have got taller buildings, but shorter characters and temperaments. We have reached the moon, but we can't reach out to a mother and inquire about her. I don't think so. We have progressed, but we have come back in life. Engage with her with all your eyes. Listen. Listening happens through your eyes. Hearing happens through her ears. Engage with her with all your ears, all your eyes, and with empathy. And the last is keep distractions away. No distractions. So when your mother is talking to her, listen, look at her, be interested, be silent, take all the time, engage, and ensure there are no distractions. Listen is what we need to do. Listening is a form of showing respect. So one of the challenge I want to give you today on this day, as we learn how do we celebrate our mothers, is when she's talking to you, you will not have your phone in your hand. You decide who is more important, your phone or your mother. Let us learn to honor our mother by making her feel valued and making her feel important. Remember, she sacrificed the best years of her life. She could have done whatever she could have done. She could have made a career for herself, but she sacrificed it for whom? For me and you. And make her feel valued. How do we make her feel valued? And remember that when you are old enough to know the answers, the sad part is there's no one to ask questions. Please don't Google about life. Like Google cannot teach you life. Google cannot teach you life. Your Facebook friends cannot teach you how to live. In fact, all of them are only there because of some selfish reason. Either you have looks or you have money. Let one of them, and life will hit you hard. Trust me. All the looks that you take so much of pride in is going to fade away with age. And money is there today, tomorrow it's gone. But character is what our mother wants from us. Reach out to her, seek inputs from her, reach out to her, ask her for her advice. She has wisdom, she has lived life. But we don't even reach out to her, we don't even ask her. And then understand technology is good, but technology can never replace your mother. Reach out to her, ask her questions, ask her for her inputs for matters related to life and work. And many of you at your age would be getting into a relationship. Don't get into a relationship with a person before introducing him or her to your mother first. And one look at that person and a mother will tell you, beta, okay, go ahead, or she will tell you, stop. One look, and that's enough for her. So be careful. Don't take your decisions. Remember, you are not independent, you are interdependent. I am interdependent. And get out of that mindset of I am independent. It's my life. Sorry, it is not your life. Get that rubbish crap out of your head. Seek her inputs. Tell her, Mama, I need you to pray for me. And remember, there is power in the prayers of a godly mother. And remember, if there is one person in the world who is even today fasting and praying for you and me, that person is a mother. And how do we treat her? So reach out to her, ask her to pray for you. But today's kids, today's generation, all of you on the call are too busy even to pray. I sometimes wonder, you are so busy, but I wonder, doing what? You are just going from pillar to post. Let us learn to honor our mother by helping her cheerfully. Remember, she does not need your money. She gave everything that she had to you. She gave everything that she had to you. Let us help her cheerfully. How do we help her? Understand, she is the greatest helper in the world. And think of, and keep your eyes closed. Just reflect upon all that your mother has done. Go back as back into memory as possible. She does things that money cannot buy. You take out $1 million and you cannot get anyone who can do what a mother does. And when she needs help, do it cheerfully. They have taken care of us when we were young and when we were growing up. Now it's our turn to take care of them. But what are we doing? We are taking them and putting them into an old age home. You go to parties with your friends, and if your grandmother, if your mother wants to come along, you feel odd, you feel awkward. They are like, out of place for you. Is that what you give back to them in return for all that they have done for us? Let us help her cheerfully. And if you need to support her financially, that is the first and the foremost moral responsibility of yours. You're not doing her a favor. In fact, you can never do her a favor. In fact, you can never repay for what she has done for you and me in our lives. Let us keep a smile on our face when we help her. But this is such a rare emotion. This is just a rare behavior, and I would want all of you under the sound of my voice to take a vow today, take a decision today that yes, you will do this. How do we honor our mother? By remembering her all the time and remember her gratefully. Remember her gratefully. Show gratitude to her. And the little things that we do in life means a lot to her. Just a call from you, just a call from her children and her grandchildren makes her heart leap with joy. But we don't even call. And even if you call, you're always in a hurry to hang up. Think about the time that you spend with your friends. Think about the time that you spend with your mother. Go and ask your friends when is Valentine Day, and 100 out of 100 people will know when is Valentine Day. Go and ask them when is Mother's Day. Maybe 10 out of the 100 don't even know when it is Mother's Day. Right? So get our priorities right. Get our priorities right. Call her, spend time with her. Remember the statement that I said at the start of this session, that no velvet is so soft as our mother's lap. When was the last time you put your head into your mother's lap? And trust me, the sleep that you will get is like beyond words. It can't be expressed in words. No velvet as soft as a mother's lap. No rose as sweet as a mother's smile. Remember, our mother gave us unconditionally the best years of her life. And we need to remember her all the time with gratitude. We need to honor her by reminding her how much she means to us, that she is needed and she's needed constantly. We need to show that, yes, you mean a lot to us. It hurts a mother to know that she is no longer needed. It hurts a mother to see her children come home and not even greet her. It hurts a mother to see her children talking to her with the eyes in their mobile phones, constantly on Instagram and Facebook and Netflix and all those stupid things. Spend time with her. Remember, love for a mother is spelled as Time. It hurts a mother that no one has time for her. We need to constantly remind her that how much she means to us and how much we need her. When she can't work, when she's physically not in a position to work, she has nothing to give because she has given everything that she had to take care of us. We must make her feel that she is loved, she is treasured, she is valued, and she's needed. And as I said, for her, love is spelt as time, right? And please express your love. No amount of money that you spend on a person's funeral can replace a kind word that I could say, you could say when that person was alive. And we need to understand that yes, she has given the best years of her life, and as she gets into the sunset years of her life, let us be the light that shines brightly for her. And as I said, remember, if there is one person, even today, she will never tell you this, she will never express this to you, and she is even today fasting and praying for my success and for your success. So never say you are a self-made person. Never ever get arrogant to the tone, to the tune that you say you're a self-made person. You are not. You are not. You definitely are not. You are a product of your parents' prayers. You are a product of your grandparents' prayers. And how can you take credit for what their prayers have done in your life? Let's honor her by living a life that she taught us to live. And let's honor her by taking a decision today that we will never cheat her. It hurts to see children getting into all kind of crap things. Pornography, wrong relationships, wrong habits. It hurts. And trust me, never break her trust, because it's not worth it. And for all of you who think you can fool your mother, here is my input to you. Remember, the minute you walk into the house, she knows what you have done. It is impossible to fool her. Remember, she kept you inside her womb for 9 months. It's not possible. It's not possible. And what thrills a mother? Nothing more than knowing that her child is living a right life. Nothing thrills a mother than knowing that the child loves God and honors God. Nothing thrills a mother to know that the child is living a life of integrity. Nothing thrills a mother than knowing the child is not taking shortcuts. And never lie to your mother. And as we celebrate this day, as we learn how to honor our mothers, let's understand there can be no better gift, no better gift I can give as a child, you can give as a child to your mother, than to dedicate yourself and promise her that I will live a life of character, a life of values, a life of morals, and life of ethics. And I want to challenge you, go today, hug your mother and promise her. She does not need your expensive gifts. She has it all. Let's give this gift to a mother, that starting today there will be no spot on our character. The character has to be blemishless, has to be impeccable. And there is no better gift we can give. Let's commit to her that I will live a life on 2 words, and those 2 words are no secrets. There should be never any secret between you and your mother. Remember, anything that you're doing which you cannot share with your mother is compromising on integrity. Anything, no matter what the world tells you. The world tells you it's a modern world. Nothing is modern in this world. And there is no excuse for you to break her heart. And remember, in this world of lust, in this love of jealousy, in this world of pride, I need to stay away from these things. Stay away from the lust of the flesh, the pride of the life, and the pride of the flesh. Stay away from these 3 things, and make it your commitment. Make it a goal in your life. No secrets, and write it down in capital bold letters, and paste it on your soft boards, on your dressing table, wherever you see yourself most time of the day. Remind yourself. And as I close, let me share with you a story. This is one of the most amazing stories of survival ever shared in mankind history. It's a real story. It's a real story of a person called Peter Ridgely. And this story dates 1820. A real story of a person called Peter Ridgely. In the year 1820, Peter Ridgely started his journey to go from England to Australia. And during those times, the voyages were by ship, so there were no aeroplanes. So he boarded a ship, and off he goes from England to go to Australia. What happens? After a couple of days onto that voyage, on that journey, the ship encounters a storm. There's a tempest in the sea, and that storm sinks the ship. And history records that everyone on board that ship died except one person. Peter Ridgely survived that storm. And he is now in the middle of the ocean, franklingly waving his hands to the other ships that saved me. And there's a second ship that goes along, and that ship spots Peter Ridgely, and they bail him out. They pull him up, and now Peter Ridgely is on his way to Australia in a second ship. What happens? The next day, the second ship meets with an accident. There's a massive storm that hits that ship, and that ship sinks. And history records that everyone on that ship sank to their death, but for one person. Peter Ridgely survives the second crash. And he is in the middle of the sea, the ocean, waving like mad and trying to, gain the attention of the other ships. And and the third ship spotted him, and the third ship said, "Okay, we will save you." So they pull him up, and he is now on board the third ship, and they are on their way to Australia. What happens? The third ship meets with the same fate. A terrible storm hits that ship, and the ship sinks. Now you may be wondering that is Peter Richley causing all of this? No. And this is not a fairy tale. This is recorded in history. It is a real thing. The third ship also sank. And Peter Richley is the only survivor of that crash. And Peter Richley is, again, one more time, in the middle of the sea, in the middle of the ocean, waving for help. And there's a fifth ship that passes through, a fourth ship rather, passing through, and the fourth ship saves that person. Peter Richley is bailed out by the fourth ship. And as you may now be guessing, the fourth ship also sinks. And all on board die, except for, you guessed it right, Peter Richley. And a fifth ship comes along and bails him out, saves him. And you know what? The fifth ship also meets with an accident. And everyone on board dies, but for one person. And there's a sixth ship that comes along, and that ship was the City of Leeds ship. And they spot him and they save him. Now, Peter Richley is on board the sixth ship on his journey from England to Australia. And he shares his incredible freak story. No one would believe this type of story. He shares it with the captain and the crew, and they are amazed. And they are about to reach Australia, maybe a couple of days, 3 or 4 days away from Australia. And he had struck a good chord with the captain, and the captain one day comes to him and says, Peter Richley, if I were to ask you for help, will you help me? So Peter Richley says, Captain, you saved my life. Tell me what you want to do. I will do it. So the captain shares something with Peter Richley. He says, when this ship, the City of Leeds, when we started from England, there was a lady who boarded this ship. And she is one of the most cheerful ladies, bubbling with energy that we have ever seen. She's an elderly lady and she is so young at heart. And we just love her. She is a tremendous, tremendous person. None that I have seen in my life. And now, for the last few days, this lady, elderly lady, is very sick. She's burning up with fever. And she has become so weak. She has become so frail. I doubt whether she will survive the journey and reach Australia. And whenever we go and meet her, she is only doing one thing. She is praying. She is praying that, oh God, help me meet my son. One more time. Whenever any one of us goes to meet her, whether it is morning, afternoon, evening, no matter what time of the day, she is only praying one prayer that, oh God, help me meet my son. Now we want to help her. But the challenge is, because all of us are so close to her, we have spent so much of time together, she knows all of us. But you, Peter Richley, we picked you up from the middle of the sea. She does not know you. So will you pretend to be her son? And will you help this old lady? So Peter Richley says, of course I will. And the next day, they go to the cabin where this old lady is there. And Peter Richley opens the door of that cabin to see a frail, weak, a lady burning up with fever. And as he looks at her face, he breaks down and he starts crying uncontrollably. And the captain wonders what's wrong with him, what happened. And after he was able to control his emotions, Peter Richley goes and hugs that lady because that lady was his mother. For 10 years, because of work, he could not meet her. And she is on her deathbed and crying out to Lord, that help me meet my son. And as she hugged him, she died. To everyone who is listening to me, take this. Remember this. Never underestimate the power of a mother's prayer. Never underestimate the power of a godly mother. The 5 shipwrecks could not destroy Peter Richley. The ships could not destroy him because there was a mother who was praying for him. So as I close, I want everyone to understand that it is our number one moral responsibility to honor our parents. No amount of wealth that you will earn, no amount of eloquence that you may have, no amount of success you may have, nothing of that would have been possible without the prayers of your mother. Peter Richley, his story is one of the strangest stories of survival ever told, ever recorded. And you can check this. And the 6th ship on which his mother was, miraculously, he reached that 6th ship just to hug her one more time. And understand, that is what the mother is. And this is Peter Richley's mother. And never underestimate the power of a praying mother. So when you are in crisis, when you are in whatever crisis in your life, remember the praise of your mother, the praise of my mother can bail us out from any situation. And as I close, I want to thank God for giving me a godly mother. And she prays for us every single day. And I've said this before, that it is her unceasing praise that is the wind behind my back. It is her praise that is the wind beneath my wings that helps me do what I want to do in my life. Without her, I can do nothing. As I close, one last video, and even if there's no voice, I want you to just watch it and understand. This is a story of a son surprising his mother. The son is working in military and he was to come home a month later, but he decides to surprise her, and they plan this out with his father and his grandfather. So he is sitting where his mother is working, right? And it is time for her mother to to finish her work and go back home. So watch this video as we close. So that's it from my side. Let's honor our mother. Remember, life does not come with a manual, it comes with a mother. And I want you to go and do something that will fill our heart with joy. Let's be that son, let's be that daughter that makes the heart of a mother jump with joy. Right? So thank you for your time, and I hope this was useful. Yeah, so
Yes.
this is
Yes.
what I mean by celebrating our mother. It is not a Mother's Day. It is not just a day in the calendar. This is the way this should be my lifestyle.
Thank you, Anand. I mean, it was a moving session altogether. Thank you so much. And with the conviction that you were speaking, it was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Most welcome, Prakriti. Most welcome.
Yes, and we all could literally feel the uh, emotion behind your each word, each statement. And, we were literally moved and
Yeah,
connected.
life is not about emotions, my dear friend. Rest, everything is temporary.
Chinmay is absolutely right. Your energy was totally passing through. Even if we were not in the same room like we used to be, it was as if you were there.
Yeah, thank you for that. But all that, I don't deserve anything. I hope this passes on to you and everyone who is listening and on the call. Today should be a tipping point. Today should be a date and a time where I change and I dedicate to do what is the right thing to do, and I will not compromise. I will put her first in my life because she deserves it.
Yes, we promise you that.
Yeah. Promise yourself, don't promise me. Promise your mother and live a life which will make her proud.
So we are getting lot of good emotional feedbacks from participants too.
So I can't see that. I don't even know how to put on my video, and I I don't know. So there's, anyways, you can share whatever it is, and
Yes, will. This reading some Harsh has written, what a touchwood session, very touchable to heart. We feel your emotions even so far from you.
that is what emotions are. You don't need physical proximity to feel it. So that is what is the beauty of emotions, and yeah. So that is what we have to do, my friend. Any other thoughts? Any other comments? I have about 1 minute, and for I have already shared this these slides with Patel sir, and I'll request him to forward it. In case you want it, you can directly send me. Last time there were